Brambro back with some Grand Tactician Civil War. This is our Union campaign, which we're playing in the 1.07, the first 9 episodes of which were in the 1.07 beta. However, that has gone live. 1.07 is now the main version of the game. So here we are in the 1.07 live. And updated it over. I don't think there's been any kind of hiccups from transitioning from the beta to the live, and there shouldn't be. So we will continue with this campaign. Okay, so where we left off, I don't really have much economy stuff to talk about right now for the simple reason that time hasn't advanced very much. So there isn't, there isn't much to talk about. Johnny Reb is keeping us busy, I gotta say. We fought this battle here in Northern Virginia against Jubal Early, right around Culpeper Courthouse in the last episode, and they are still in that battle. One thing about that, though, that actually didn't occur to me until afterward is I had McDowell placed here and Patterson placed here, and the idea was that Patterson would be just close enough to be in reinforcement range. Well, he wasn't, was he? Did not reinforce for this battle. So I think I need to move Patterson just a little bit closer over here. I can't move McDowell right now. Just move Patterson to something like that. I think that'll be fine. Way out in Missouri, as shown in the last episode, the Missouri State Guard just walked right past us because I didn't have my combat radius touching Rolla. So, Lion is still heading back up here to deal with the Missouri State Guard. So the order movement is still there. However, I had him going on the railroad, and the railroad piece of it seems not to have made it through the save and reload, but he's still moving, and I don't feel like stopping him, and he'll get up there. I don't feel like stopping him and reissuing the order. We've still got this Army of Mississippi kind of bouncing around this area. Still not very big. Only 80 men, but it has got some units coming, and we'll be 5,500. I don't think he's going to remain too much of a problem. The new Cumberland Corps that's going to come down here and besiege those forts is just crossed into green readiness, but I want them all the way up to full 100% readiness before we get them on the river to come down here, as mentioned earlier. And Grant's army continues to build its fort, which is about half done at Nashville. And that leaves Western Virginia. Well, not Western Virginia. It is now West Virginia, where the Army of the Northwest under Albert Sidney Johnston has come up to contest our possession of Charleston, West Virginia, and got us into this siege battle. That was in the last episode. However, initially it looked like, yeah, we'll just let that ride. It's in our favor. And it still is. But it is slowly deteriorating toward the middle. We were higher than 68, and then the last time I looked in the last episode, we were down to 68, and now we're down to 65. It's going in the wrong direction. Now that could reverse itself and go back up. But it also might not reverse itself and go back up. And I think what's happening here is it looks like our units are dropping in morale during this siege a little bit more than Sidney Johnston's troops are. I don't want to leave that to chance. We have 6,000 more infantry. I think I'm going to go ahead and convert this into a tactical battle now. That's a pretty good loading screen. That may one day find itself into a thumbnail. A no issues with copyright thumbnail. Seems to be taking a little while longer to load there. Okay, we have a defensive situation. It's been a while since I fought a battle in West Virginia. I'm sure I've been on this map before, but not terribly recently. Alright, well, here's the objective, Farm Hill. Here's our corps. So somewhere over here. Where is Johnston coming from? Not down here. Here he is. Okay. So what is his likely route? I would think that if the Confederate Army is spawning in this general area, they're going to want to... Is that road? Yeah. Down this... Well... Oh. They would have to build a pontoon here. I think pontoons are like in parapets in that they can only be built during the deployment phase, can they not? Like, I don't think they can be built on the fly the way breastworks can. And if that's true, then that spot is not crossable until tomorrow if they build a pontoon there. So that seems... I don't know if they're going to want to try to come that way or not. There's a ford here. But there's no real obvious way to get to this road from this side of the river. I don't know if I have been on this map or not. Seems a bit of a mess. I guess I could come all the way up here on this track and then come down this way. Interesting. Well, I think what I'll do is I will send the cav over here to just to keep an eye on this area. And then maybe I'll detach some skirmishers to kind of come up into this area just to see where they're coming from. I really don't have a good idea of which way he's going to try to come. Very few crossings on this Gauley River here. I mean, there's some spots that just look fantastic for a defensive position, but I I don't know where that's going to be. Okay, well, it may take them several days just to get to us with this terrain, and I think they're going to be tired as hell by the time they do. What about down here? No? Or maybe this river can be marched across, even though there's not an obvious crossing? Okay, well, I don't know too much about predicting which way they're going to come. I know I'm not very interested in marching out to meet him and marching through a lot of this terrain with my own guys. He's got to come here eventually, right? And so I think that we are going to set up here, and I don't really know what direction to face, but I think we'll just get the cab and some skirms out and catch sight of his approach early enough that we can get all of our guys oriented in the proper direction. So that might take a while, and I will be back. Okay, so the Cav has spotted Johnny Reb over here. Get that oriented. It was upside down there. In this area, how exactly they're going to get across, not clear to me. Maybe that's crossable there without the pontoon. I don't know. Anyway, I just threw a few random breastworks over here, not really knowing which way they were going to come from. And most of this is just kind of XP building for the brigades like we did in one of our other armies. Let's see if they can get across here. I always thought you had to have the bridge built. Maybe not. No. They seem to... no. They're trying to get across. Looks like they can't. Oh, man. What a mess. Oh. Somehow I got across there. Okay. Kind of looks like eventually they might manage to... I mean, so maybe the right thing to do would have been to just come up here to the top of this bluff, and it would have actually would have gotten fairly hard to actually be able to shoot at them on this slope, but getting over here, it would have been like shooting fish in a barrel. Anyway, no, they're not getting across there. Neither is this fellow. However, because of their position, they're probably going to have a deployment zone which extends over here, and then they'll be able to get down toward us. I don't see any other way for them to do it, really. As a matter of fact, I am actually going to pull the cav back I want to let them have that deployment zone. Otherwise, this will be like the stupidest battle ever. And there are some other candidates for that honor, so. Just leave them to it. I don't think they're going anywhere before nightfall. And I'll do some more breastwork building for more XP. I will be back. Okay, just a quick look. It is the morning of day 2, and time is rolling. But just wanted to cut in and say they did build a pontoon here. I don't know if I've ever seen the AI do that. In one of my previous campaigns, I think I did catch a glimpse of a pontoon in someone else's YouTube series recently. But, so, got a skirmisher coming up here to take a look and see if we can find where Johnny Reb is. Oh, well, this guy's still over here trying to get across. Okay. And meanwhile, I've got, I got the crazy quilt of superfluous, unnecessary breastworks going up here, getting our guys lots of XP. I think I am anyway. Yeah, he's still constructing. And I don't think anyone's actually unlocked a perk yet, but they're working on it. Yeah, I'm not going to do this all the time. I'm just doing it to unlock perk slots. Okay. Alright, I'll be back. Okay. So I got the skirmisher over here to see what's going on, and they're still right in the same spot. There's a pontoon bridge here that they built. There's a ford here, right? But they're stuck. Right? They're just stuck here. And this other guy, he's stuck over here. Well, I don't know. I think he's just sitting there now. So this is going nowhere fast. So what I'm going to do is I am going to save the game and then reload it and see if maybe that kind of jiggers their pathfinding a little bit. I'm not overly optimistic that's going to work. So, bottom line is, either I'm just going to sit back there and build breastworks and get all my guys perks slotted and then just let time run and, just let the objective VP get us to the victory and then they will withdraw. That may take several days. Or I may just march over here and kind of shoot fish in a barrel. Either way, if I can't get this cleared and I resolve it through one of those two fascinating options, I'm just not gonna record the rest of this, and we'll finish out the episode with some campaign map stuff, maybe getting another battle somewhere else. If I do manage to get them moving on the proper side of the river and we have a halfway decent battle, then I'll show that. In any case, I will be back. But exactly when and with what footage, I don't know. Okay. Okay, so I did a quick save and a reload, and yeah, that seems to have kind of gotten them moving. So I'll be back whenever they get over closer to our position. Right, so it's 7 o'clock in the morning on day 3. Johnston finally got his army up on this side of the river. They did kind of some funky maneuvering that I didn't quite see because they were out of vision to get up here, but here they are. I had just built some breastworks up here with the cav just for XP for the skirmishers, and that's right about where the edge of the deployment zone was for the morning, so I just brought the whole army up here, and Either they will attack us, or if they're going to sit there for a while, maybe I'll just go over there and attack them. But let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and walk these brigades right up onto this breastwork. That wasn't quite in the deployment zone. Morse is 10. Just pull those skirms in. Who do you belong to? Yeah. Just come on in. Who do you belong to? Schleich. Okay. These two brigades had some skirmishers way on the other end watching another crossing where they didn't come. Okay, we got Napoleons and 10-pounder parrots right up here. They're finding targets. It's just that skirmisher unit. A couple of the brigades did manage to get a perk slot. Yeah, Schleich, I gave him sharpshooter because he's got the hauled rifles. Most of the brigades are pretty close from all the digging they did. Or building, I guess. Breastworks dug, I suppose, but hauled up or constructed. Wharton's got Ace of Spades. Rosecrans is close. And Hooker has got Ace of Spades. Looks like the rest of the rebels are coming up. Maybe. Okay, that guy's routed. Should I get up into that breastwork here? Nice. Rotated back around there. There we go. Going to work out too well for Sidney Johnston. It's not looking like a very favorable situation for him. platoons routed there. I don't think Walton's going to be too far behind. This Johnston is pulling back. It's got to be a different Johnston, I would guess. That's just skirms there. All right, they're not going to be attacking again. Let's go ahead and start advancing these guys. Well, I think they're all withdrawing, and I don't think I'm going to catch any of them, and I don't think this terrain is such that I want that cav chasing that unbroken brigade. So, I'm going to just 10x through here, and I'll be back with the battle results, such as they are. Okay, so all of the rebel units just withdrew individually, never entered any kind of withdrawal or retreat phase, never got to the end of the bar, but most of them have left the field. You can see right here. 8,900 men have already left the field. Apparently there might be a few somewhere still on the field that I haven't seen. Have the cav up here. And I think they're just gonna withdraw here as soon as I hit end of day. Yeah. It is a withdrawal, not a retreat. And I've got the bug there. I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to have to save and reload again to get out of the battle. But yeah, so that wasn't exactly the most fascinating battle ever. And even when the Rebs finally got up here, you know, it wasn't a good situation for them. They made their attack. It didn't work out, and then they withdrew. So a little bit different situation, but basically the same kind of behavior that we saw from Polk and earlier. Gotta say though, you know, they've made a lot of improvements to the AI, and it's doing different things in 1.07. And I think we've seen a lot of that. There are limitations, and one thing that I think about this particular game is the maps. In one sense, they're among the best features of the game because they're very detailed and complicated, and you know, and they challenge the player for using the terrain correctly to a degree that I don't know that I've seen in similar games, right? You don't have maps like this in the Total War series or the Ultimate General series, right? So the maps are a strength of this game, and they're also a big problem because the AI units, you know, they have a rough time dealing with the complexity of the terrain on these maps. And we just saw an extreme case of it here, trying to get across this river. And yeah, it is what it is. Okay. So I need to do the save and reload all over again in order to get out of this battle. I'll be back. Okay, well, we're out of that battle. Federal minor victory at Charleston, West Virginia, and Albert Sidney Johnston is going to have to retreat. And Hurlbut, one of the infantry division commanders, picked up some fame. As it happened, the reload kind of put me right back at 7 o'clock in the morning. they had already taken the casualties and were already withdrawing. Didn't have to fight the battle again per se, but did have to advance time all the way through to sunset again. So I just took the opportunity to build some more breastworks, and the good news coming out of that battle is that all of the infantry and cavalry brigades in McClellan's Appalachian Army now have their perk. And I went with Ace of Spades on the infantry, except for the one Hall's Rifle Brigade. He got Sharpshooter. And the little cavalry unit under McCook gave him mounted rifles. Okay. Well, kind of interested to see where Johnston retreats to. I don't think he can go anywhere. I would think probably here to Salem. That's about as close as any place. Still need to disengage from this battle up here in Northern Virginia. And we haven't actually advanced time on the campaign map. So let's advance time a little bit. The Army of Mississippi still bopping around over here. I think he's about to retreat from Grant's army for a second time. Oh, whoa. That's a new little notification there. Weapons delivered. I don't remember what that can't be the rifles already. Oh, 24-pound howitzers. Got 128 of them. Okay, so I'm going to go farm those out to all of our smoothbore artillery. Probably off camera. That's the batteries are so small. I don't think I actually have that many batteries with 6-pound field guns. So we've actually got a pretty good stock now of smoothbore howitzers for the future. That's good. All right. But that's a new notification that they've added in 1.07. I think it's a good one. Yeah, pulling back. And then he's going to come over here. Then he's going to come back. How's the Cumberland Corps doing? Yeah, still gaining readiness. How about the Missouri Army? He's still headed up here toward the Missouri State Guard. Is this battle over here disengaged yet? It is. Where did... And Early came back down here. Fair enough. 100% supply flow and good supply situation for McDowell after that battle. And Patterson's a little bit closer now. Are we done with the... we're done with the Confiscation Act. So that's going to help out the supply situations of our armies a little bit. That's good. Okay. So, choices. Tariff Act, strong possibility. Military 2, strong possibility. Kind of thinking diplomacy, strong possibility. Let's have a look at our finances. We're at AA plus. And we've got a surplus running again, and that's probably because we're on an up spike on sales taxes. Yeah. You know, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. When we're up here, we're still running a surplus. When we're down in the troughs, we are running a little bit of a deficit. But I think our financial situation is good enough right now. Not an immediate need to run the Tariff Act. But it's sitting here waiting for when we do need the Terrafact. So that's good. How about... So the argument for going military 2 is to increase military subsidies. I think it'll double them. From, I think we're at 12.5 now. Yeah, it'll double it from 12.5 to 25 million to get more military subsidies running, and there's a lot of projects that we need that for. The argument for diplomacy subsidies is that I'm interested in some of those imported weapon projects that folks who have watched previous campaigns know that I usually don't go for those. And I'd kind of like to unlock some of those this time around. We already have a domestic production rifle because the Union starts the campaign with the Springfield Rifle Musket project already available, and we're producing Springfields. It's good to have a second source of rifles, maybe even a third source of rifles, just so one can have multiple orders running at the same time and get large batches of weapons that much quicker. But I don't want to spend military subsidies on a second source of rifles when we have one already. So I'm kind of interested in the Austrian rifles, the British rifles, maybe even the Prussian weapons, which will get us a very nice rifle, and to my understanding, I've never used it, a pretty nice artillery piece too. So those are all possibilities. I think, though, we need to get this military subsidy money flowing. We need the artillery reform, the cav reform. We need some artillery. We need some recruiting office. We need some organization reform. And we need logistics reform. So I'm going to go ahead and go with military 2 this time around. And it is going to take almost 2 months to get that finished, which will take us about halfway through the winter. So I don't want to put this off any longer. The other thing that military 2 is going to do is unlock the draft. And I'm interested in the draft, not really so much for a huge manpower pool, although it will give us that, but also because of this, the speed of replacements will increase by 50%. And I think that's important. In 1.07, I've remarked on it a couple of times already, but it looks to me like attrition is a bigger deal now. Right? It used to be pretty much the norm that return to service number there in that tooltip would keep up with the losses in casualties and attrition, and it's not doing that now. Therefore, it is becoming a little bit more challenging to maintain these armies at a stable size, let alone grow them from replacements just naturally filling out the brigades. That's not really happening now. So I'm pretty interested in enrollment just to get the increased replacement speed, and if necessary, the enrollment 2, which I don't think I've ever taken before, partially because it's in chapter 3. But if we get to chapter 3 and kind of the pace of the campaign, I'm kind of feeling like that's a higher likelihood than before. We'll get even faster replacement speed. So military 2 is what we're going with here. We do have quite a few projects unlocked now. Tons of them. Almost all of them are military subsidy. Except for the one I'm looking for. You know, we've got all the... Oh, we do have it. I didn't see it in the... Oh, it's right there at the top. Okay. I have been waiting for rifled artillery. And why is that? Because of the weapons projects, we already started with the Springfield rifle muskets, as I mentioned. So we have one rifle, domestic rifle production. We got that at the start. The medium range carbines is one I really, really like. However, because of the starting situation with such small cavalry brigades, our starting carbines plus the Hall's rifle, plus the Hall carbines project gave us enough quality carbines that all the Cav actually have good weapons right now. So I don't see that as a priority. And what we don't have is any sort of ability to produce rifled artillery right now. I had talked before that I was thinking about Parrott rifles this time around in order to use the 20 and 30 pound Parrots for siege warfare. But that leaves us with only one rifle for kind of like a standard field gun, the 10-pound Parrott. I think I'd rather go ahead and go with the 3-inch ordnance and the wired, as I've done before. So I'm going to take rifled artillery. And I'm going to order some now, before I forget. And I'm kind of thinking, well, where are they? Okay. $4 months for 128, or, well, let's see. This is 115 days. And this is 97 days. So for 18 more days, for 2.5 weeks, longer delivery time, we get twice as many. 128 is the way to go. What is 256? Yeah, that's a pretty good bump there. I think 128 is going to be enough of these. So we'll do 128 3-inch ordnance. We'll do 128 wireds. In 115 days, it's going to be just about, end of February. Not too bad. So that's going to give us 256 rifled artillery. And I think that will suffice for quite a long time, especially with the smaller batteries we have for now. Okay. Have we gotten a better... Just stop this a second. Let's have a look at the heat map here for production and demand. Well, are you producing anything, Lumbermill? Yeah, 103,000. Are we not seeing a? How come we're not seeing a wood? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's regional and it's part of this. I guess I don't know. How about shortages and oversupply? Really? We don't have an we got a little bit of oversupply of wood here. And we have nothing but shortages pretty much everywhere. Does that seem right? Got a bunch of wood here. So it is registering some oversupply. Yeah, a little bit here and there. What's that? Salt. Well, no, these are on the... Okay, so big picture, we don't see Confederate shortages and oversupply, except for this. Right? This is Confederate territory here. Why are we seeing this? In any case, it's not clear to me that there's any wood available up here for this port. What if we actually click on the port? I don't see any wood in the port at all. I don't know if we did I don't know if we did ourselves any good there on putting a lumber mill right by this port. There doesn't seem to be any evidence that there's wood in the port. Well, let's just well, let's do this. So what is the normal price for building a let's just pick this double ender, 195K for, well, let's pick a wooden ship. 77K for building a schooner. This should be the default price. And then what happens if we shipyard command? If we have this selected, will that change the price at all? Not very much. It is 3K cheaper. And you may have seen I flipped through here. Up in Maine, there's quite a bit of oversupply of wood. There weren't any lumber mills real close to the port, but there are multiple lumber mills in Maine. So I also did like a little Maine shipyard fleet, and let's see if that does anything. Schooner. No. Okay. Well, I think our little lumber mill making ships cheaper experiment is, I don't know about thoroughly debunked, but at very least inconclusive for now, I'm afraid. Okay. Let's see what happens up here. It should just make the Missouri State Guard retreat, I would imagine. Yeah. They're running home. Okay, now this time let's go plant lion right on this IIP so they can't do that again. Yeah, use the railroad to get back there. That's fine. Army of Mississippi still bopping back and forth here because it can't find a way to get to wherever it's trying to go, I would imagine. And I think Isaac Stevens Cumberland Corps will be ready to embark on the river to come down here to the forts very, very soon. What is McClellan's supply situation here? Well, okay, why isn't he drawing supply from this depot? Which has plenty of stuff in it. That seems odd. I mean, it's not quite within his command radius, but neither are these other places. Let's just move him a little bit further back up the road here. A little bit closer to that supply depot. See if that helps. And this is where the Army of the Northwest wound up at Salem, as predicted. Okay. All right, I think that will do for this episode. If you like what we're doing with the channel, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe if you are so inclined. If you're new to the channel, new to the series, and want to have a look at other episodes of this series, which you may not have seen, I'm linking the playlist for this series right here. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.